in general, you could say that a business analyst position might deal with more strategy kind of projects, closer to like a consultant role, maybe. Data analyst would be more numeric, but still on the data wrangling / data handling side.
Welcome to another episode of Engineering Aajkal. Today we have someone really cool with us. His name is Abhijith Ashok. He did both bachelor's and master's in electric and electronic engineering from BITS Pilani, Goa. He then pursued another master's from Harvard University in health data science. He is now working as a data scientist at Microsoft. Why did he decide to do 2 MAs? And how did he manage to get into Microsoft? Let's find out. So, hi Abhijith.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
You got into BITS Pilani, that too in a Goa campus, which is like an aspirational college for many engineers. Can you tell us about the experience there? Was it like all studies, or you also went out for a little bit of parties because Goa is the, party capital of India?
Just because it's Goa didn't mean that the academics was any less rigorous. It was like really, really intense actually. So unless you sort of kept track with what was being taught and was like kind of at least like somewhat up to date with things here and there, it was really difficult to sort of mug up things on the day before the exam and actually get like a really good score. There were people who did it, don't get me wrong. There were people who were really made for it and people who were like completely did it, people with like photographic memory and people who were born to be engineers and everything. But I was certainly not one of those people. There were a lot of struggles for sure, but I think the fact that it was Goa definitely helped, because whenever you're having like a bad mental health day, there was always a place to go to and just like sit on the beach, enjoying the sea breeze and the land breeze, to sort of relax your mind and remind yourself that there are bigger things in this world than just like an A grade or something.
At college, we're part of various committees, clubs. So tell us that how these committees and clubs helped you grow personally and professionally.
I didn't really feel passionate about like engineering or like science as such, at least like when I came into BITS. Because of that, it was really difficult to connect to any of the technical clubs that are in campus. They're like really great ways for people who are passionate about it to develop their skill and get more connections and network themselves and get themselves more exposure. But I did not relate to any of them. But I was part of like I tried to sort of rejuvenate my artsy side through the clubs in campus. So I was part of the Mind Club of the campus. I was part of like the department of like journalism, which basically did like some kind of like in-campus reporting. It is not like because I was part of this club and that department, I just got like a really cool job later, or that really got me through like a fantastic admission or something. But I feel like working as a part of those clubs and departments definitely gave me a sense of responsibility and gave me a sense of leadership that later manifested in like a lot of different ways in my career. And it also builds a lot of like organizational skills. And the hard thing is that all of these things that I mentioned are intangible. You can't really quantify it using like a measurement. Like you can't give yourself a score of 70 on 100. I feel like the club and the department were very helpful for my mental health, which was definitely taking a toll, because I was feeling suffocated in a place where I didn't feel very relatable to the particular cause I was there to fulfill, which was basically study engineering. But being part of the clubs and departments, being part of the various putting together various acts and like practicing for it and like ideating for it and everything, definitely helped keep my mind much calmer and prevented me from falling into that pit.
Okay. Coming to the end of your time at BITS, what were the three biggest learning that you had? Probably Abhijit as a person who was before BITS and after BITS. So was there any difference that you saw within yourself?
One of them would be to sort of remember that things will definitely come your way. Uh, you sort of have to keep in mind that just because you're in a bad spot right now, and just because things don't seem to go your way at the moment, doesn't mean that it's always going to be the case. And in like a country like India, where the academic environment is like so rigorous and it's not conducive for like a peaceful environment of learning, for at least for like a lot of people. I'm not saying everyone, but at least for a lot of people, it's more of like a very competitive scenario, and not all of that competition is healthy. It's more like uh, if you tell someone that you cannot handle something, it's more of the answer is more often deal with it than how can I help you deal with it, you know. And that's really really unhealthy. The second one would be to what I just ended the last one with, to keep an eye out for everything. And so just because something doesn't work for you right now doesn't mean that nothing else is going to come your way. So you always got to remember to keep your eye out for like new opportunities and new ideas that come your way. And sometimes the thing that you thought that you would never do in life might be the thing that I might actually speak to you, because there isn't much initiative to sort of introduce children to the amount of options they have in the society that we live in. Number three would be just enjoy life. You know, this just college life in particular is like very valuable. And when you look back later, you're not gonna remember that one lecture that taught you the most important equation in fluid mechanics. You're probably gonna remember the time you spent with your friends, or that outing you took out of nowhere when it was like a long weekend or something. If you don't enjoy your college life with like such experiences, it might be like a regret later looking back.
So from BITS, you were placed at ZS Associates as a business analyst. So tell us about the selection process. What was it, like a college placement, or you like found it like on your own?
Process, if I remember, it was like a, what was it? It was like a written round. There was like one written round where it was like something like a case study, and you had to like analyze the case study and identify the problems in it, bring out solutions and everything. And then there were like three interviews. One of them was like basically going through the case study and explaining what exactly you did. And another one was basically they gave like a spreadsheet or something, and with like some data in it, and you were supposed to like identify the problems with that data, like missing values and wrong units or whatever. Something. It's basically checking how quickly can you catch problems with the data. And then the third one was with like a principal level person. It was more like a mini case study in itself. They give you like a problem and show you some graphs and something, and then you have to like deduce the output and whatever. I remember that I couldn't complete the case study per se, but whatever I did, I think I did a pretty good job with it. And the data quality part of it was pretty good. I did like really well in that. I remember because my internship also focused on that particular aspect a lot. So I already had some training in that. And I remember I flunked that mini case study part entirely because I feel like, from what I remember, the question was kind of incomplete, and I think they expected me to understand that and ask for more information, but I wasn't aware that that's what I was supposed to do. So I tried to like work with what I had, and I didn't have anything to work with. So I remember that I flunked that, but then since I did well on the other things, I guess that's why they hired me for the role.
So you said that you wanted the data science position, but it was not there, so you went for business analyst. Are there any like difference in the role per se that of a business analyst and a data analyst?
I guess it's very company dependent. There is no one single differentiation that you can make. Some companies, when they say business analyst, they just mean someone who opens an Excel sheet and does input some formulas into an Excel sheet and get something out of it. While some companies, like I know that American Express, when they say okay, we want a business analyst, they mean someone who's like more hardcore with machine learning algorithms, and who's someone who's like more adept with like coding and data wrangling and everything. Same case with data scientists. When some companies say data scientists, they usually just want to get on that bandwagon because data science is like really fancy and cool these days, and everyone wants to be on it. So for them, they say data scientists, but then they don't really have data to work with. So you end up just exploring some data sources here and there without really like making much out of it. Whereas when it's like a data scientist role in one of the bigger tech companies, it's usually the case where you have like really vague but really, really impactful problems to deal with. And it's like a lot of data exploration and data wrangling and machine learning modeling and whatnot. So I guess the spectrum is like really, really wide. But in general, you could say that a business analyst position might deal with more strategy kind of projects, closer to like a consultant role, maybe. Data analyst would be more numeric, but still on the data wrangling slash data handling side, while a data scientist might still do like a lot of data wrangling and everything, but would do a lot of like modeling as well.
There are a lot of colleges nowadays who have specific STEM courses based on these subjects. So do you recommend a person doing these courses, or like doing it on go like you did? Like it was more based of your interest and experience which you did personally. You didn't like per se pursued a hardcore 2 years course on that. So will you recommend a person to go for a hardcore course or do it yourself?
When I was actually in that position where I was just trying to decide what to do, and I found that okay, I have an interest in data, like analytics or data science. There weren't really many options to go with. I guess there were like some courses offered by these educational consultancies out there. At that point in time, I didn't really know enough to make that choice for myself. Coming to people in that position right now, I wouldn't say it's a bad idea to do it, because if you're trying to learn on the go, there are always certain limitations. Because especially when if you don't have a mentor, it's like you have to figure out the direction you want to go in yourself, and that may not be the best direction to go with, because data science is like extremely exploratory and very, very vague, and there are like 1,000 different directions to go in at every single point in time, and there is no right answer that tells you that okay, this is the best direction to go into. It's like almost always like a call that you're making in the particular situation. So without a mentor, it's really difficult to know whether you're going in a good direction or not. If you can like talk to people who are in the field, maybe like show the curriculum to them and see what they think about the curriculum, and whether the curriculum matches with what they're trying to learn from. Because some people are more interested in the business side of it, some people are more interested in the math side of it, so, or stats for that matter. So whether that curriculum aligns well with their interests and whether that curriculum is any good, first of all, is something that you should sort of like confirm with people who are already in the field that you can trust. Or even if you don't have anyone like that, just try to like message someone on LinkedIn and ask them. More often than not, I imagine people will help. But like if I know that if someone reaches out to me, I'll definitely help them out, irrespective of whether I know them or not. In the Microsoft Office, like 4 interviews back to back, 45 minutes each. So overall, like 6 rounds, and the entire process took like 2 months for the first interview till the offer came in. So it was like not too long, but not too short either.